sister, sit and store what I'm about to preach on. Damn, sister, close the door. Watch what you step out on. I said, hey, sister, so before you become a sin, I said, hey, sister, there is more, even if you think there isn't. When you live your life day to day, there will always be obstacles in your way. But don't let that get you down, girl.
Hello, my sister. How are you doing?
Well, how are you? I'm actually jamming to that song.
Right. It is impossible. You know what? We should do a challenge where you have to listen to the whole song and not move. It is nearly impossible to do. I love that song so much. Oh my gosh. Well, I am so happy that you are here today, Miss Marsha. How are you enjoying you're welcome. How are you enjoying this crazy Toronto weather?
Crazy indeed. It's definitely crazy, but I won't even complain because this has been a pretty decent winter, considering.
Yes.
Whatever.
It's true, right? We were almost at one point begging for like toboggan opportunities, right? Like it wasn't.
We want to go outside.
And you're right. If anyone can remember the vortex, the polar vortex of the 2014 and the 2015 winter, oh yeah, we'd be really happy about this winter. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much again for coming on here. I always have so much fun when we get together. If anybody watches our IGTV reruns from last year, it's just like giggles all over.
It's always a lot of fun.
Yes, always. So, Miss Marsha, please tell everybody about who you are, what you do, how you help, etc.
So, my name is Marsha Watson O'Mara. I am married, a mom, a grandma, glamour.
Grandma.
And a business owner. I own Divine Executive Concierge, and a gift basket company. So where we will assist you with your day-to-day basics. So calendar management, accounting, billing, you name it. I shouldn't say you name it because let me just give you a story. When I started the company, I was like, oh, let me put on this cape. I'm going to help everybody swoop in and just be like, oh, I'm Superwoman. And then I ain't walking nobody dog. It's on my niche, and it's to be a full assistant to business owners, small and medium business owners. I also do gift baskets and care packages. For any occasion. You name the occasion and I'll do it for you.
And my husband has loved his Father's Day gifts and everything else that we've gotten from you. But since we're on this topic, we normally leave this for the end, but we'll just squeeze it in right about now. We have an event coming up together. Do you want to tell the ladies what is in their me gifts?
So in the gifts, you will get a nice candle. I actually have one right in front of me. Nope, I don't. So you'll get a nice candle, a lavender Himalayan salt candle. A coloring book by Sojay. Is it Sojay? Yes. Pencil crayons. It's one of those, and a small wine. And if we don't drink wine, it will be tea. No wine, tea.
No wine anymore. Yeah, tea.
Right. So it's one of those me days. You just sit back, you drink tea, you color, you light your candle, and just calm.
Yes.
Because we all need one of those days sometimes. So
yes, girl.
Yeah.
And we need it together sometimes, like sometimes you want me time that's 100% solo. Sometimes you want girl time, you know.
Yep.
Sometimes you want, you know, sweetheart time. Sometimes you just want to be silly and chill out with the kids, you know, or the glam kids, you know.
Yes.
But whatever you're in for, sisters, come and hang out with us, because the conversations that we are having, it's like this intricate mix, if you will, of being relaxed, but your brain is still being fed at the same time, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's actually
Yeah.
going to be lots of fun. So don't miss out.
Yes. Exactly. We had so much fun in January. I was teasing Karen. She was on last week, and I was like, I had to kick y'all off of my Zoom. They didn't want to go home. They didn't want to leave. I
That's
was
how much it was needed.
but it really was such a good time. It really was such a good time. So please, let's make sure that we, you know, come with open hearts and open minds and ready for great conversation. Hello, Mr. O'Mara. Greetings, brethren.
Yes, my boo.
Yes, please. I saw that when the gorgeous comment dropped. I was like, it's got to be Mister.
Yes, he's good for my ego.
Oh my gosh. No, you've told us about your roles.
Hmm.
You've told us about your business, and we got my girl Destiny here shouting you out, saying, "Yep, she's a big boss lady." But I want to know more about Marsha.
Hmm.
So tell us more about you.
So, you know what? I actually don't even know how to answer that question. Aside from the fact that, as you know, I'm married and my wife and a mom, but um, at the age of 52, I'm still becoming
Mm-hmm.
Marsha,
Mm-hmm.
still getting rid of old mindsets
Mm-hmm.
and learning to use my voice and learning to walk in victory. Learning, like, there's so much that I'm still learning at this age. And I just want to even tell a lot of people that don't let age stop you. You know,
Yes.
you can still do whatever it is that you want. Even go to school. You can do whatever you want to do, even at whatever age you want. And I had to learn that along the way. I have a phenomenal support system, absolutely phenomenal. My husband, my children, my besties. So they're also helping me with the becoming part of me.
Yes.
I used to be very quiet and didn't want to um, defend myself, and with being an entrepreneur, I've had to learn to use my voice, learn to say, I don't
Yes.
like this and I don't like that, that I love this or I really like that.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm still, still becoming
Yeah.
Marsha.
You know what? I think that gives us permission to
Hmm.
understand that, first of all, there's no quite a rival,
Right.
you know? And if we look around, everybody is still continuing. If we are breathing, we're
Hmm.
continuing, right? Like that's just how it works. And so that age thing, you know, the check marks. Oh, by this age, I need to do this. And by that age, I need to do that. I'll tell you, I checked off the boxes, okay? I did the things they told me to do. I went to school. I got the good job. I did all of that stuff. That did not mean that I was mature, that I could handle life's challenges.
Right. Right. Right.
Right? That didn't
Hmm.
mean I was ready to make good decisions for my life. That didn't mean that I was emotionally secure and I can manage my emotions. So there's so many different layers of the becoming.
I absolutely agree with you
Yeah.
110%. And that's what people tend to not realize, that we look at social media and try to compare ourselves to what other people are showing us, and
Mhm.
we want to fall in line with what other people are showing us, and they're not. Some of those people aren't. They're not. They haven't arrived.
You'll then be stock images, people.
Okay. Like, honestly. So yes, I 100% agree with you on that one. Hey, Karen.
Yes, please. You know what? When we give ourselves permission to continue to become, then we also give other people permission on their journey and on their
True.
becoming,
Very true. Mm-hmm.
And we can also accept yeses and nos gracefully because we recognize that we're on our journey and they're on their journey,
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And when there is that, again, that respecting the path, respecting where alignment happens and where it doesn't happen,
Mm-hmm.
Respecting the other person's decision to, do what they need to do as they continue to grow and become who they're choosing to be, in every moment. So, and we want
Absolutely.
to
And what
thank.
works for them might not be you. So I'm glad that you said, right? So I'm glad you mentioned the yeses and nos, because it's okay to say no. It's okay to say yes to something that other people wouldn't say yes to. They might say, "Oh, girl, you're crazy," but if it works for you, it works for you, right?
Yes, yes. And if it works, work it.
Work it well.
So true. And we want to thank our girl Michelle Obama for,
Yes.
encouraging all of us in our becoming.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I read the book and it was just, I loved it. I loved it from the beginning right to the end. And of course,
Yeah.
Uncle Barry's book too.
Oh. Uncle
Yes.
Barry.
He doesn't always my uncle yet. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes. 100% agree there too.
yes. Oh my gosh. So I also read that book during chemo. That was
Mm-hmm.
my, I would go for a walk in the like a little park, sit down, soak up some, some sun rays and get some vitamin D going, and then just come home and crash out and go to sleep. Like that was my day. I was becoming in the morning and sleeping in the afternoon.
And that's fine. Fabulous.
Exactly, right? That was it, man. So in this journey of your becoming,
Mm-hmm.
you can look back and you can see, okay, Marsha at this age versus that age. Okay, I can see where she grew. I can see, in previous circumstances, this one situation kept repeating, and I can see how Marsha has dealt with it differently over the years, or how Marsha is just not learning and figuring it out, whichever which way, because that happens too. But what to you is the importance of vision, in your opinion?
I believe you have to have vision, because if you don't have it, you're walking aimlessly. You don't know where to go. You don't know what to do. You're taking on many projects. You're doing everything. You know everything and nothing. So
True.
you, right? So you have to be able to. It's a goal. Like, you have to see where you're going. You have to see the destination, basically, and then you work towards that. So
Yeah.
without it, you're just working for what?
Yes.
It's there's a scripture that says, without vision the people perish. And
Yes.
so you don't want to be working. Oh my gosh, there's another scripture that I want to mention too, basically working in vain. So
Mm-hmm.
you're building and building and building, and you're building in vain. What are you building this thing for?
Yeah.
Right? It's not doing anything. So once
Yes.
you have a vision in mind, you work towards that goal, and it can be very successful, especially if you add prayer to it, girl.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, you have to see where you're going.
Yes. Yes. Now, it reminds me of Sisyphus. I think that's a one of those Greek myths of this guy who had to roll this big old rock up a hill every day, and it would take him a whole day to get it up the hill.
Mm-hmm.
And then it would just roll right back down. And tomorrow, same thing, just roll that big old rock up the hill. And he had to do that there every single day. That was his punishment. So if that is punishment, why would we punish ourselves?
Right? That's exactly it. Like, I'll
Yeah.
tell you some stories. I'm just like, I'm rolling up this hill. The only thing I'm getting is muscle, which is great. It taught me something, but it's aimless. And so,
Mm-hmm.
you have to make sure that, and it also causes anxiety when you're in some, like, if you have on like I like to say, if you have on a cape that doesn't belong to you, it's choking you. It's
Mm.
And so you
I'm
need to
sorry.
take it
Repeat.
off.
Repeat. Repeat. Rewind. I come again.
I've been saying, like, because everybody's always talking about the superwoman cape, and I'm have on this cape, and I'm rah! It's okay, but if you have on a cape that does not belong to you, it's going to choke you. It's literally gonna cause you anxiety, night
Mhm.
sweats. And I'm speaking from experience. And the
Mhm.
moment you take it off and literally drop it on the floor, you can breathe. You can
Oh,
see
that
clearer,
release. Oh.
right?
Mhm.
So yeah,
Mhm.
you just have to make sure that you know exactly what you're doing, how you're doing it. Write out your goals. Write out, it's um, write your goals out, and often write it in pencil because we often say, okay, God, here it is, right here. It's written in pen and in ink, and God is like, okay, yeah, all right.
Yep.
Let me just erase part of that right there. You're gonna get to there, but you don't need to do all of that.
It is so true, girl.
So yeah.
So true. My daddy gave me that one long ago,
Hmm.
because I used to be so rigid. Like everything had to go this exact specific way, or the entire world was about to end. Like,
Hmm.
so how many times my world was dying, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And I remember one time he was like, look, just plan in pencil. He's
Hmm.
like, you have to plan, especially for
Right.
your personality. You can't exist without a plan. Like, you have to
Right.
plan it. So go
Right.
ahead and plan it, but don't plan in permanent marker like Kadir.
No. My children used to make fun of me all the time. And because I was just this straight
Hmm.
tunnel vision. Cupboards need to be closed. Washroom needs to be cleaned at a certain time. Okay, mom, I'm gonna do the dishes. Do it now. Like I need, you know what I mean? Okay, we're gonna get you. I woke up one morning in the kitchen. All the cupboards were open. I still want to strangle them. And they're like, you have to relax. Just relax a little bit. I'm like, okay, I'll relax a little bit, but close all the cupboard doors. Simple things. It's like everything was just tunnel vision.
Hmm.
And then, having kids will definitely help you to change your mind with that right
Oh,
quick.
they schooled you. They took
Right?
you to school.
Yeah.
It is so true. You know what else did that for me? Event planning.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Hmm.
Event planning is something that every type A personality should do, because when Murphy and his law show up
Okay. Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
everything decides to go wrong,
Hmm.
if you can't think on your toes and come up with some,
Think
alternatives
quick.
and keep that smile going and keep it moving,
Right?
I'm sorry, sweetheart. It's going to be a
So you
rough
have to have
ride.
plan A, plan B, plan every letter in the alphabet. You have to have them all.
Exactly.
You have to be able
Exactly. And you know what I find? When you
to.
have all of these contingencies,
Mhm.
something happens that you could not have been prepared for. Like, you could not possibly have
Mhm.
considered that coming up.
It's
But when
true.
you have thought through as many of the possibilities already, when a new one crops up, now you can pull solution from plan B and a solution from plan Z and a solution from plan M and mix it
Absolutely.
up,
Mhm.
right? Because now you've given yourself that chance to prepare,
Mhm.
so that no matter what comes up, then you got it all sorted out. Yes. Yeah. If
True.
you are
Very
super
true.
rigid, go and go try planning something. Oh my
Absolutely.
gosh. Yes. So even in this whole space now where we are becoming and we're latching onto our vision, we're letting go of other people's capes. In this morning's affirmation, we're talking about I am authentic, and how authenticity isn't what, we talk about keeping it real. But authenticity is not vomiting all of your emotions on everybody.
Right.
Right? Which is
Right.
what we were made to believe, right? Authenticity is knowing this is who I am. This is where I'm great, where I'm not so great, where I do well, where I do poorly. This is a sober understanding of who I am in this moment and in this space. And a big part of, knowing whose cape to let go is that journey, like you said, that becoming, that understanding who I am choosing to be in each moment, right? And connecting with, this core me and how she'll manifest herself in each given moment, right? So in this process comes, like you said, knowing when to say yes and when to say no. Knowing when to say, I love this, I hate that, I'm for this, I am not for that. Hell yes, hell no. Knowing how your voice can be used, you know. Have there been any times in your life where you felt as though you were willing to use your voice, but it was silenced or diminished?
Yes. Um, and I think maybe it was my own mindset that thought it was
Mm-hmm.
silenced or diminished because you can always respectfully use your voice. And I
Yes.
personally think it's an internal thing. So nobody can
Yes.
silence you.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Um, I've had to learn to use
Mm-hmm.
my voice. I've frustrated my support system to the point where they're like, "What's wrong with you? Just use your voice." Even at
Mm-hmm.
like this age, you're allowed to use your voice. You're allowed to say
Yes.
no. You're allowed to say, "Oh yeah, I'll do that," and then be like, "No, no, no. This actually doesn't work for me." And
Mm-hmm.
so it's okay. It's
Mm-hmm.
something you have to learn to understand. Um,
Yes.
and there were times where I felt like I couldn't use my voice. I allowed fear to cause
Mm-hmm.
me to step back. I've allowed fear to stop me from elevating. I've allowed fear to cause me to do things I shouldn't do. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, I think being silent and fear kind of go hand in hand where you
Yes.
feel like you can't and you
Yeah.
absolutely 100, yes, I can. You 100% can. It's just how you do it. Do it respectfully. Even afraid. Do it afraid, but
Do it.
say what you need to say. Right.
Feel the fear, but do it anyways. That's right. Absolutely. And you know what? I love the different responses that I'm getting to this question. And I've purposely positioned it that way because I want all of us to understand that there are real situations and circumstances, and there are people and there are structures and all of that that are designed to bring silence.
Mm-hmm.
But our response to that is what gives permission
Mm.
or takes permission, you
Right.
know? And so that part is, for us as visionary women to connect with that, to say, oh, wait a minute, my voice is still present,
Yes.
you know? And even we talk about, even if you're not born with the physical ability to speak, you have presence, you have voice, you have opinions, you have, desires, you have expertise, and you still have voice, and voice still needs to be, shared and received. May not always be physically heard, but shared and received. Absolutely.
I
Now,
think if you don't use your voice, it causes
mhm,
internal trauma where
mhm,
it causes resentment, it causes anger,
mhm.
where it's still inside of you that you want to say it. And you've lost
Yes.
that moment to say it. And so
Mhm,
it's still held inside of you. And that's where
mhm.
anger comes in when people walk around miserable because they
Yes.
didn't use their voice. So it's
Yes.
very important to use your voice.
Yes. And then you see it just kind of exploding,
Yeah, I'm guilty
you
of
know.
it. Mm,
Yeah.
uh-huh. It's like, rah! My husband's like, well, had you told me that last month when you were wearing the yellow shirt, I would have known. I'm like, well, okay, fine. Next time I'm going to say it.
It is so true. It is so
Mm,
true. When then it starts to pile on, you
mm,
know, and now you're not just resentful about this current situation, but the last 500 situations,
mm.
are now fitting in here all at the same time. And yes, there is some emotional management to not running away with every emotion every single time, but processing. You may
Right,
not need to talk everything to process, but if
right,
you're not processing and you're not talking as a result of that, that is, where the trouble comes. You just
right,
filling up, filling up, filling up with all these emotions all the time. And then all of a sudden, well, where are they going to go?
right, right.
They
And
got to
this
go
is
somewhere.
just with a relationship. It's work, rest, emotion. I mean, in your business, not emotion, in your business and everything. Like
Mhm.
there are times where, because I also work 9 to 5, where are times where I've had to say, I don't know how to deal with this. And I've had to
Yeah.
go to one of my friends and say, okay, so this is what's happening. How do
Mhm.
I respectfully say to this person, no,
Yeah. Yeah.
it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Right? And not be the angry black woman that they're always saying,
Yeah.
you're just an angry black. No, I actually have a voice.
Exactly.
So yes, it's a
Yes.
part of our life, right?
And then we try so many different ways to soothe the underswelling,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
whether it is, it might be a big blow up, it might be getting into a wrong relationship, whether that's a business relationship, a romantic relationship, a friendship. You know, it could mean subjecting ourselves to behaviors and attitudes that don't serve us and don't help us coming from other people. Sometimes we look to soothe it with a substance, you know, we look to soothe it with a bottle, we look to soothe it with, you know, because, well, that's what grandma did and that's what granddad did. You know, they got upset and then they had a drink and one drink turned into 3 bottles, you know. Girl, we've been there. We've been there, Marsha.
Oh, I know I have.
Right? And we look for so many different external things, external people, external circumstances, and external situations to bring that soothing, without realizing that we have the antacid already, you know.
Right?
It's already there. Right? And we really just need to soothe, you know, take that time and process through all of these multiple emotions. And when it gets tough, as we say all the time, that's where community steps in. You know, that's where you're like, you call up Marsha, you're like, hey, listen, do you know a good like psychotherapist? Because I'm about to blow. You know what I mean? Or like, can you hook me up with the beautiful foundation? Because, you know, I got to move out of this house and I don't know where I'm going. And I got like 5 kids and I don't know what the next step is. Marsha hooked me up with the beautiful foundation so they can help me out. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
then there's community where that fails for sure. No, you've given your voice its permission. You've decided they don't get to stop me.
Right.
I might be scared to death of saying what I know needs to be said, but I will say it anyways. And then that creates a story, right? Because now we have a character, now we have a conflict, now we have some kind of resolution. The idea of being able to capture your story, take control of the narrative, write the version of your story that you want told about Marsha's life. How does that make you feel?
Absolutely amazing and free. Like, especially in, I would say, the last couple of years, I've had to pray. So I had to say, okay, God, I literally want to hear the chains fall. I don't want it to say free, I'm free, and just be in church and saying, I'm free, I'm free. I said, I need to hear the chains fall. And so when you're literally hearing cling, 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 and you release and you're like, you know, that moment where you actually breathe and you're like, okay, and then the tears fall. It's like, yes, I own my story. I am free. And you actually walk, like, you ever just get your hair done, eyebrows done, and you walk
strut
a little bit. Ow.
Yeah.
That's the way you walk when you know that you're free in your story, or you walk like you're actually in heels because nobody can to you, and no, they can't say to you, well, you used to. Okay, so you don't know that. Okay, let me school you on who Marsha is right now, and do it respectfully. I can also be like, what you don't know is it doesn't have to be about that. You can actually have a sit down and talk with anybody and just, say, this is how, this is who I am. And I don't actually have to say anything. The life that I live speaks for itself.
Exactly.
Right? And so you'll see it on my social media platform. You'll see it when you interact with me. You will see the growth. Because I'm definitely not the reckless Marsha that I was at 20 or 21.
Who, Marsha?
Girl. That is a whole time testimony. You're not even ready. Honestly. But yeah, you definitely walk different. And people can see it, right, when they interact with you.
Oh my gosh. And you know what, Marsha, that I'm hearing the chains fall. I mean, that I felt that with everything in my body when you said that. I want to hear the chains fall. And I also want us to hear that some of the chains that we need to allow to fall are things that we once thought were good for us.
Listen, trust me, 100% agree with you, 1000%. Yes.
In a previous stage, whether or not they were good, we perceived them as good in a previous stage. And now we are in another stage. And whether or not they're good, we are perceiving, okay, in this space, no, my eyes are open now. you know. So when I thought you were just, you know, really cracking jokes, I realized, wait, but she kind of undercutting this, so like, you know, jabbing it all, you know.
Right? So no, that's actually not funny.
Right? I was like, oh, wait a minute.
Oh, that's a dig. We're gonna talk about that dig.
You know, yeah. I'm like, let's bring this to the table, shall we? You know, but there's circumstances that maybe they did serve us, maybe they were helpful. You know, maybe it really genuinely was good in a previous phase. Maybe if you're like me, I tell people all the time, I can see the future, not the actual future, but the future, right? Because my training is looking at past trends and guesstimating, you know, possible outcomes. So when I start seeing certain patterns, I am now at the point, I used to have to wait for it to play out completely. You know what I mean? And everybody vexed and nobody talking to one another, drag it all the way out. I just had to make sure this wasn't gonna work. You know? Now I'm at the point where it's like, yeah, I can see that this is gonna take maybe 10 more chess moves and this is gonna be a problem. So how about we call it quits right now?
Right.
You know? Yeah.
Seriously, no. 100%.
Yes, but sometimes, you know, that release, I just, you know, allowing those chains to fall, Marsha, that is just so powerful. I don't want us to get too far away from that, but keep in mind that growth also means letting go of things that we once thought, we once believed, and maybe they did, but we once accepted that these things were serving us. You know, and now we're not there anymore. Sometimes those are hard chains. Sometimes the Lord is there trying to drop the chain and we holding on to a link.
Right?
You know,
like working the child ears.
we're like, Lord, not this particular one. I know it rusty, you know. I know it's scratching me. Oh, Lord.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. No, you said it before, and we're kind of on it, but I'm going to ask about it specifically, just in case you have another angle to bring to us. Victory. Hear the word victory, and I find that victory is not normally something that is used in conversations with women, right? Victory, we hear about virtuous, not victorious, not necessarily, right? So victory is something that often, you know, you have very certain images that come to mind. And a lot of those images have come from a male-dominated world and perspective. So I want our women to start thinking and telling us, when you hear the word victory, what image comes to your mind?
It literally, a heart smiling.
Oh.
Smiling and joyful and an authentic, unadulterated, free smile. With nothing added to it. That's what I see when I see victory. And I felt, I mean, I remember when I had to get to a place of that and praying. And then honestly, like I often like, I do this often, it's like, yes. And then my heart feels like, and it's smiling.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, that's what I see. That's what I see.
My goodness.
That's what I know is the freedom inside and the victory inside. It's a smile.
Oh my gosh, ladies, have you ever experienced your heart smiling? Girl, that one is, oh my gosh. Let me just pull it down, pull it back in. So first of all, you know, do you ever remember a time in your life, Marsha, where you smiled, but you weren't really sure if you were supposed to be smiling or not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
I remember like I was suffering with so much anxiety that I couldn't actually experience most emotions. I experienced fear and anger. Nothing else genuinely was I able to experience. And so when I'm in a group of people, I would be like looking at other people's faces to see what their reactions are to figure out what my face should look like. Because I'm like, I'm not actually hearing anything that's being said in this conversation. I am freaking out internally. You know, I am terrified at this point, but I'm still here around people, and I gotta appear somewhat normal at this point. So, oh, they're laughing. You know what I mean? It's like, this they're smiling. That seems like that might be a pretty good point to interject a smile. Like, yeah. But then there comes a point. I know, right? Then there comes a point where we let it all go. And that smile starts from in here. And it's like a physical, like a warmth that actually starts spreading. You know? I remember the first time I experienced that smile, it was with my husband. And we weren't even dating yet, right? We were just kind of like now on that conversation you know. And I remember thinking to myself, what is this? You know, what is this? I'm like, I'm just driving. Why am I smiling? Like, what is going on with me? And then I realized I wasn't getting like butterflies and quivers and, you know, like hormones raging all over the place. It was this nice, quiet, calm, internal smile that was showing up on my face, you know? Girls, I'm telling you, whatever you need to let go, whatever those chains are that you need to let go to experience smiling from your heart, girlfriend, let it go. Marsha, you are so right.
That's because it's only weighing you down. And so you mentioned the let's call it a fake smile. And sometimes you see it on someone where you can there's this one time my son made fun of me. He was like, "Mom, that was a Kanye face." Crap. But you can see it in people's eyes too. You can see the sparkle. When there's like a real joy and a real happiness, you see the sparkle in their eyes. So yeah, I've been there, and I'm grateful that I can recognize now where it's okay, Marsha, you're not being you. Go to the root of the issue. Discover what it is. Pray about it. Do what you need to do. Face the demon that you need to face the issue that you need to face, and then move from there, because you won't get past there until you face it. It'll keep coming back, and then it's like, all right, okay.
And you know what it also does for us, Marsha? It gives us the opportunity now to recognize it in a sister.
Yes. Yes.
In a compassionate, non-judgmental way that says, you know, I see you out there. I see you. You look good. You know, you look good. But what's going on?
Right.
You know, come and tell me
hug them.
Yeah.
You don't have to ask anything. Just hug them and just be real. You know, and then if they tell you, they tell you. If they don't, they don't. It's for you to use discernment in praying for them as well.
Yes.
100. I agree with you right there. That you can see it.
Yes. You know, I'll share some with you that you don't know. I can talk your business first, though.
Child.
So Marsha and I met at an event right before lockdown. And I love telling this story on you. I love to bring it up. Sorry. And it was this panel, you know, of well-to-do melanated people, you know, in the city. And we were able to ask them questions. My girl Marsha asked a question, and the panelists decided to do like a live coaching session in front of everybody right
so
here.
The cameras went and turned around at me, and I'm
all eyes on Marsha. And I'm here very impressed by Marsha. She's handling herself so well. And then to find out afterwards that she just wanted to sink through the floor.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
I literally, my mind said, okay, if you run, the door is right there. They'll just be like, what an idiot. Or you can stand here and ask a question.
You are like planning your escape route, right?
I really was. Because I looked and I was like, okay, there's the door. I'm going to run.
Oh my gosh. Well, let me tell you something you don't know. That same night, first of all, I had to prepare myself emotionally for like a week before I actually went to this event.
Wow.
I had grown so anxious that I could not be in most public spaces, right? I would always be hyper alert, and I'm constantly watching. I know where all the exits are, right? I know where everybody is positioned. I'm sussing out who might be who. And I would like have so much anxiety going into public spaces. And while we were there, you know, things started to calm down a little bit. There was a young lady, somebody threw wine on her shirt. And, you know, it was a nice shirt, but I could tell by her reaction that it was not about the shirt, you know. And later on in the panel discussion, she talked about, you know, dealing with her own mental health and her levels of anxiety and whatnot. And as the panel was going on, and as the night was going on, somebody walked into the room who completely triggered me. And I am here standing up trying to have a business conversation. And I'm literally, as I'm talking, I'm like going behind a column to like avoid line of sight with this person, right? I'm like talking, I'm repositioning myself to like block myself off from this person who has no idea that their presence is triggering me, right? It's not their fault. They have no idea who they resemble and what that's doing to me at that point in time. And this young lady at the end of the panel, she came back and I just pulled her aside. I was like, hey, are you okay? Like, I saw that wine spill on your shirt earlier. She's like, oh my God, it is so hard for me to be here. You know, and that was just like, at that point, that wine spill was her ticket to leave. And she said, no, I'm going to stay. And I was so proud of her in that moment, because guess what? I was doing the same thing.
Yeah. And you don't even realize how many people actually have that, where they're like, okay, I'm just going to rough it, do it afraid, smile through it. When I go home, I'm just going to flop on the bed and go to sleep.
You're like ball on the way home, driving home. You're like, oh my God,
I can't quiet. It's like, that was a good event. I just want to go home and sleep.
Right? It's so true. So, you know, now that we have gone through these things, we can look and we can identify when it's happening with another sister, you know, and then we can either be there or recognize we are not equipped to be there.
Right.
That's also very key.
Very important.
Please don't be a professional.
Start me.
Right?
You really don't want to start me, especially if you're not somebody, not only if you're not equipped, but if you're not emotionally mature enough to hear someone's business and leave it there.
Yes.
About it with Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Yes.
You know, if ask their permission, do you mind if I share it with this person, because I feel like they're more equipped to help you through this. Exactly. I will always be here for you if you need a sounding board or whatever the case may be. I know that this person can carry you through this, through this situation that you're going through.
Yes.
Right? So yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, because if we look back, we'll see how many relationships we were stuck in because we thought we were there to help.
Right. Yeah. True. Very true.
But you know who is more likely to drown? The person who was the strong swimmer that went back to save the person who was a weak swimmer.
Right.
Statistically speaking, the stronger swimmer is more likely to actually drown. So we have to be real with ourselves. That love and that compassion needs a dose of reality. I see what's happening with you, sis. Here is, for example, the Beautiful Foundation. I cannot walk you through substance abuse and how to walk into sobriety. I only know what I've seen on movies with, like, you know, AA and stuff like that. That's as far as I go. But I know people who are better equipped to help with this. You know, I know where I can connect you. I can be a resource. I can still serve in that space, right? But I'm not going to come and pretend that I know exactly how to help you, and then you end up in a worse situation than when we started.
Right?
Yes. So that compassion requires action, and that action should be governed by wisdom. That's my tidbit for today.
Very good tidbit, I might say.
I think so too. Oh my gosh. No, Marsha, thank you again for coming on and sharing with us. And thank you for the giggles. I don't think we could possibly have a conversation where it's not, you know.
Yeah, you know, the two of us already.
Yeah, I know, right? It just is, right? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor. And thank you so much for the beautiful project too. Beautiful foundation. Sorry, a phenomenal foundation.
Yes.
Actually read up on it, and Lady Miko, love you.
Enough love, sister.
Yes.
Yes, it really is. I think one of the things that I love about organizations like the Beautiful Foundation is somebody saw a problem
Yes.
and didn't just say, oh, the government should really,
Right.
or those people should really, or somebody really should. No, saw a problem and said, okay, what do I have in my hands that I can start using to help?
Right.
And continuing with the help and continuing to say, okay, there's another layer of help that we need. Yeah,
Yes,
I
Karen.
told
Yes.
Carly.
I love this girl. I love this girl from a long time.
I was like, you remind me so much of a friend of mine named Marsha. She's like, Marsha's my girl.
Yes, I love her.
Oh my gosh. And Karen is also a part of leadership at the Beautiful Foundation,
Yes.
and these are the kind of people that are around, the people that will come and say, listen, we believe in giving voice to the voiceless. We believe in standing in the gap. We believe in supporting, as Lady Mika is saying, supporting women and children who've been dealing with physical abuse, mental abuse, financial abuse, verbal abuse, all these layers of abuse, who've been dealing with substance abuse and overcoming that, and knowing that that journey is not a straight line, and understanding exactly how challenging that is, dealing with the trauma and the anxiety of all of those years piling on, and then coming together and saying, girlfriend, I got you. I
Right.
see the beautiful in you,
Right.
Yes. Wait, what is Carrie?
I
No,
love
but no.
She's like, I see your shadow. Honestly, she was right behind everywhere. It's like, Marsha and Karen. I love her so much. And I love that she's shining bright like a diamond right now. Love it.
Oh yes. Oh yes. I'm so happy to be able to be in your presence, Karen, Judith, all these amazing women. We had like who else is on here? Destiny is my girl Stacy. Shouts out.
Mm-hmm.
And then thank you, Mr. O'Mara, for your But thanks to everyone who has watched with us today. Thanks for coming on live. And if you are catching the replay, just let us know, #replay, and let us know what resonates with you. If you heard anything through the giggles, let us know. Yes. We will be back here every single day in March with another phenomenal woman, a great story, a great conversation. Thank you, Miss Judith. And we want to make sure that we, come engage with us, drop a comment, ask a question. Yeah, put people like Marsha further on the spot by giving them questions they did not prepare for. I invite you to do that. But yes, come on in, sisters, come on in the room, and let's have more of these conversations. I stole that from my girl Jo Marie. She's like, come on in the room. She's so sweet. I'm like, I'm gonna steal that one. Yes. Thank you, Karen. Yeah, some great takeaways besides giggles. And we want to make sure that if you want to go deeper with us, that you can do that. So the link is already there for you to learn more about Marsha and how she can help you delegate and elevate in your business. All right. Because again, you got on capes that choking you, girl. So release a cape. Got you. Release a cape, man. Yeah. And let's see your business be able to flourish and to grow, because you understand, where you need to partner and how you can do that to improve your current position. And also, Marsha and I talked about the event earlier. Do not want to miss the event. The links are there. And our masterminds are starting in April, y'all. That's 5 masterminds every month, facilitated by 5 amazing women. I'm one of them. Thank you. I'm so accustomed to saying amazing women for somebody else. And then eventually one day I was like, wait, that's me too.
Because you are an amazing woman, and don't forget it. Okay.
Thank you. I'm learning to just say thank you. So thank you.
Good.
Yes. So make sure you go deeper with us, ladies. There's so much more for us to talk about, so many more ways for us to encourage and support one another. And we will see you right back here tomorrow at noon Eastern time for yet another conversation. This is so good. This has been so great. Thank you, Marsha. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Hey, sister, sitting store. What am I about to preach on? Damn, sister, close the door. Watch what you step out on. I said, hey, sister, so before you become a sin, I said, hey, sister, there is more, even if you think there isn't. When you live your life day to day, there will